Well, we know what Downing Street has told us, Jeff, and of course it was only 24 hours ago that I was standing here and the message from Downing Street that these were purely precautionary measures and that the Prime Minister remained in charge of the government, in contact with colleagues and officials. But why don't I go through the chronology of the whole Boris Johnson coronavirus infection? Because on the 27th of March, of course, it was then that the Prime Minister tested positive for coronavirus. And it was only last Friday, the 3rd of April, where we heard that he was continuing his self-isolation in his flat in number 11 Downing Street, above the official residence of the Chancellor of the Exchequer, because he was still exhibiting symptoms of coronavirus. And then we heard Sunday evening that as a purely precautionary measure, the Prime Minister was being transferred to a central London NHS hospital for monitoring. But again, they were very clear to emphasise 24 hours ago that it was purely precautionary. Now, we came down here yesterday believing it was St Thomas's Hospital here on the south bank of the Thames, which is 1.4 miles away from Downing Street. That was since confirmed to news organisations. And even as late as noon yesterday, we heard that Downing Street was insisting that the Prime Minister remained in charge of the country and was still receiving his red box official papers. In fact, the Prime Minister was tweeting just after noon yesterday, I'm in good spirits, and giving great praise to their National Health Service. Thereafter, things deteriorated, and at 7 p.m. we heard that the Prime Minister had been transferred to an intensive care unit and was receiving extra oxygen. 4 litres of oxygen, I'm told, was the amount that the Prime Minister received, but he was not on a ventilator. And part of the reason why the Prime Minister was transferred to intensive care, so that a ventilator was available if necessary. We understand the Prime Minister was conscious, and that, again, Downing Street emphasising this was a precautionary measure. But the gravity of the statement from Downing Street increased over the 24 hours. They were saying that over the course of Monday, the Prime Minister's condition had worsened as well. Dominic Raab, who is the Foreign Secretary and also the First Secretary of State, added that he was making sure that they would implement the plans of the Prime Minister to defeat coronavirus as soon as possible. Let's hear what the Foreign Secretary and de facto leader of the country at the moment, Dominic Raab, was saying yesterday.
The government's business will continue, and the Prime Minister is in safe hands with a brilliant team at St Thomas's Hospital, and the focus of the government will continue to be on making sure, at the Prime Minister's direction, all the plans for making sure that we can defeat coronavirus and pull the country through this challenge will be taken forward.
Now, of course, Boris Johnson, previously in good health. I think there have been concerns a while back about his weight, but that aside, he's a tennis player, a keen cyclist, even a jogger when his knees were allowing him to do that as well. But a relatively fit 55-year-old man as well, with no previous underlying health conditions. He is being replaced at the moment in terms of the top job by the 46-year-old Dominic Raab, who will be deputising when and as needed for the Prime Minister. It comes at a time when actually the UK death toll increased another 439 mortalities overnight to 5,373. Actually, as horrific as that figure is, it is a drop of 30% day on day. And there are hopes that in the next week or so, possibly peaking around Easter Sunday on April the 12th, that the UK mortalities and infections could start to peak around this mid-April period. We've been hearing from world leaders as well, the likes of Donald Trump and President Emmanuel Macron, both wishing the Prime Minister well. Donald Trump saying he's a really good fellow, he's something special, strong, resolute, doesn't quit and does not give up as well. And well wishes have come in from across the political spectrum, from his predecessors, the likes of Theresa May and David Cameron, and indeed from the new leader of the Labour Party, Sir Keir Starmer as well. And we understand, of course, that Her Majesty the Queen is being kept in touch with all developments.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.